Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Serge. So today I wanted to specifically talk about gut microbiome and immunity. So one of my goals as a functional medicine doctor is to really educate people, empower people with knowledge, information, so they can actually address their problems and get better naturally. So I really believe that we can support the body with diet, vitamins, herbs, homeopathics, uh, in a way to really help the healing process to happen so you can actually feel better and not just mask problems with medications, for example. So let's focus on gut microbiome, like I said. So we all know that everything starts in the gut. And our immune system is mostly located in our gut. And whatever we eat impacts our gut function, right? And consequently impact our immune system. So what we put in the body can actually help or actually affect our gut microbiome. So by microbiome, I mean the pathogens, the microorganisms that we have in our gut. So we have four types of microorganisms. We have bacteria. So this is most likely the most common that we hear a lot. So take probiotics and eat fermented foods, So that's bacteria. We have viruses. There's 10 times more viruses in our gut, in our body than bacteria. Okay, and there's more and more science actually showing the benefits of having good viral microbiome. Okay, and then we have the parasite factor, and then you have the yeast component. Okay, one of the most common yeast we can hear of is Candida, right? This is one of the worst pathogen yeast. It can lead to all kinds of problems. And then parasites, of course. The issue arises when you eat food that leads to an imbalance in our gut. Okay, so if you eat too much sugar, for example, you may actually feed candida, and then you have a candida overgrowth, for example, which can impact the good microbiome, the good bacteria. So typically, that's the pattern we see is when you have a yeast overgrowth, you may actually have an overgrowth of bad bacteria, reductions of good bacteria, and so on. So specifically, I wanted to focus on the parasite components because that's something we don't really hear a lot, and they don't really talk a lot about it because the medical community doesn't really look for parasite and doesn't really believe that parasite is an issue here. I hear all the time that from doctors that if you didn't go overseas or didn't go to Africa or those countries, you don't have parasites, you're fine, you don't have any problems. But 95% of people actually have parasitic infestations, and that's something we need to talk about. So if you eat foods, junk food, processed food, all the sugary food, the wheats, and all those products that are processed, so most likely you impact the parasite layers, meaning that you feed the parasites, and the parasites over time takes over. There's more than 120 types of parasites that affect humans. As you can get parasites from water, food, right? 50% of the water we find in this country is contaminated by parasites. And the other way to get parasites is through the air. Okay, people don't realize it, they don't think about it. You can actually inhale parasites from the air. Okay, that can lead to a sinus infection. So if you do have chronic allergies or sinus problems or head stuff going on, my guess is there's some parasite component to it. So these are the two main ways. And if your immune system is not strong enough to get rid of them, of course they take over. Okay. So what happens is when you eat the sugar, okay, the wheat, the processed food, it leads to reduction of hydrochloric acid in your body. So your stomach needs to be acidic. Okay, this HCl, this acid, is used to activate enzymes into your stomach to digest processed foods, and the acid in your stomach kills pathogens. So if the stomach is not acidic enough, those microorganisms that you get from water or food actually can survive your stomach and travel down the gut, going to the small bowel, going to the colon, causing all kinds of problems. So once in your colon or your small bowel, I see a lot of parasites up into the GI, the liver, gallbladder, small bowel. And of course, doctors don't really look for that. When you do the stool test, for example, they look for parasite in the colon, so they don't really look for parasite in the bowel. Or if you do endoscopies, okay, or upper GI, they don't really look into that. But I can tell you that if there's some chronic issues going on into your body, GI problems, inflammation, autoimmune issues, I can guarantee you there's some parasite component to it. So what's happened when you have parasites in the body is the parasites, like us, human beings, need nutrition to survive. So those parasites steal nutrition. And this is my point is, one of the most important vitamins that parasite needs to survive is vitamin A. Okay, they need vitamin A to survive and thrive into your gut. Vitamin A is fundamental, it's important for a strong immune system, meaning that vitamin A is needed for your white blood cells, for example, to make antibodies. Okay, we know that antibodies are small molecules, right? Small protein that will go to the invaders, to the pathogens, and neutralize it. So it's part of the attack that the immune system mount against microorganisms. So if you don't have enough vitamin A, so your body doesn't have the resources to actually produce antibodies. So making you more prone to get infections. And it's harder, or it takes more time actually to get rid of viruses or bacteria. So if you're dealing with some type of sickness and it takes time for you to fight and recover, if it takes you 2 or 3 weeks to fight the flu, for example, you may want to look into vitamin A deficiency. Most likely that's what's going on. So your body doesn't have vitamin A to make antibodies. So it's one component of a strong response against pathogens. So vitamin A, back in the days, we would get it from cod liver oil. I don't know if you had this experience, but back in my time, my parents would give me cod liver oil every day in the winter, for example, to really boost your body, to fight infections, and I would not get sick. And this is one of the best sources of vitamin A, cod liver oil. Liver, okay, beef, chicken liver, really important for vitamin A. Eggs, the egg yolk, really important as well. When it's bright yellow, it has a lot of an A in it. Good raw quality cheese has a lot of A as well. Some seafoods, fish has vitamin A. So I'm talking about real vitamin A, not a beta carotene that you get from vegetables like sweet potatoes or carrots. This is the vegetable source of vitamin A, which is not what we need to have a strong immune system, because that vegetable vitamin A needs to be converted and transformed by your body into vitamin A. And some people cannot do that. So the best way to address this issue is actually to consume the actual source, the real source of vitamin A. So this is what I wanted to cover tonight. So make sure you consume a lot of vitamin A. You need a good 10,000 units a day, maybe more, if you have some type of chronic issues. Of course, if you have parasite component into that, you need to address that. You need to detox, use some herbal products, whatever you need to do to eliminate the parasites. Otherwise, the parasites will keep stealing, utilizing the vitamin A that you get from the food, okay, in order for you to have a strong immune system and fight viruses, bacteria, and so on. So thank you for watching tonight. God bless you all. So if you have a question, let me know. I'm here to help you with your health.